At least 3 times a week. We would FaceTime, call, text frequently. She kept me updated on this whole trip. I believed the first couple of days when I wasn't getting responses, I believed she was in a place with no service. It was like day 8 and 9 that I really became concerned.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Wow, it really seems like such a long time since I made a video about the Petito case. And the Petito case feels, in a weird way, like it happened a long time ago too, doesn't it? But it was really just last summer that they embarked on their doomed summer epic together. And almost a year later, the whole planet seems so much worse off, doesn't it? One almost has the feeling to take time off and get some living done before the world explodes. In any event, we have some news in the legal narrative pertaining to the Petito case, and one has to wonder whether the best advice is to let it be. Not because I don't think this case should go to court, I do, and not because I think this case has ended in a way that does any justice to Gabby. It doesn't. I simply have my reservations that the Petitos have much of a chance in a courtroom, even with these 6 amendments, which we're going to go through in a second. That said, I do hope they have their day in court, and we know cameras will be allowed in. That's a new one for a change, and who knows, maybe they know something we don't. I hope so. Before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started. So, number 1, this is from the lawsuit. It says, quote, "While Gabrielle Petito's family was suffering, the Laundrie family went on vacation to Fort DeSoto Park on September 6 to September 7th, 2021. They went on vacation knowing that Laundrie had taken the life of Gabrielle Petito. It is believed that they knew where her body was located and further knew that Gabrielle Petito's parents were attempting to locate her." That's according to the suit. Now, I think it's fair to suggest they went on vacation knowing something had happened to Gabby, and as the days went by, not something good. I think it's a stretch to say they knew exactly where she was, and also to say that they knew exactly what had happened to her. And I think it's a stretch because when we see Brian during the Moab incident, he's not completely honest with the cops, and he manages to fool them, and he manages to get away with it. So why on earth would he play totally open cards with his parents? He's a 23-year-old. Why on earth would he do that? That brings us to the second point. It is our understanding that a search has been organized for Miss Petito in or near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. On behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Miss Petito is reunited with her family. And that is from the Laundrie family statement from September 14, 2021, right? That's from the Laundries. And so the revised lawsuit from the Petitos singles out this particular comment and puts particular emphasis on the word hope. And this is another quote from the lawsuit, quote, "For the Laundries to express their quote-unquote hope that Gabrielle Petito was located and reunited with her family at a time when they knew she had been killed by their son was beyond outrageous." That's according to the suit. Again, I don't know whether it's certain or obvious that they knew that Brian had taken her life, but I do think the cynicism is right. This whole idea of expressing the hope that the search is successful, even when they themselves play absolutely no role in assisting that search, that does feel like cynicism. It does feel like it's undermining, doesn't it? That brings us to the third point. This is also quoting from the suit. Quote, "Despite the fact that Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt implored Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie to tell them if their daughter was alive, and if she was not, where her remains were located, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie refused to respond to either Joseph Petito or Nicole Schmidt or law enforcement." Now, the updated suit has the words law enforcement redacted. That is a major change. And this is a serious concession because it means the Laundries were, at least to some extent, cooperating with law enforcement. if you could make the case that they weren't cooperating with law enforcement, I think you'd have quite a strong case. But if they were cooperating with law enforcement but not cooperating with the Petitos, then that is a little bit different. That brings us to number 4. Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie knew of the mental suffering and anguish of Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt in not knowing the well-being or location of their daughter, and further knew that such mental suffering and anguish increased each day that Gabrielle Petito was missing. Right? That's the original version of the suit. It now reads, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie further knew that they could prevent such additional mental suffering and anguish of Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt by disclosing what they knew about the well-being and location of the remains of Gabrielle Petito, yet they repeatedly refused to do so. In doing so, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie acted with malice or great indifference to the rights of Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt. So that, I think, is a sound point. Now we go to number 5. The beyond decency comment in the lawsuit has become a lot more specific, and it deals with an allegation of failing to inform Gabby's parents she was deceased, B, allegation of failing to inform Gabby's parents of the location of her body, C, taking a family vacation while allegedly knowing Gabby's parents were desperately seeking her whereabouts. I think that's also quite valid. D, the allegation of blocking access to their phones and Facebook page. E, issuing a statement of hope while allegedly knowing Gabby was deceased. In my view, only the last 2 or 3 are demonstrably true. And now we go to the 6th and final amendment to the lawsuit. The lawsuit also separates the counts issued by and against all parties as follows. You have count 1, Joseph Petito versus Christopher Laundrie. Count 2, Joseph Petito versus Roberta Laundrie. Count 3, Nicole Schmidt versus Christopher Laundrie. And count 4, Nicole Schmidt versus Roberta Laundrie. Now, according to WFLA, and I'll post a link to that in the description, the revised lawsuit includes what it calls bombshell allegations, including new information describing Petito's exact cause of death. The trial remains set for August 14th, 2023 at the South County Courthouse in Sarasota County, Florida. So I don't know what these bombshell allegations are, and I don't know whether they are bombshell allegations. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I just want to reiterate what I said earlier about maybe the best thing is to let it be. If letting it be is the best thing, what a wicked irony that would be. What a tragic result that would be as well. But what I mean is, even if this case does make it to trial at the end of the summer of 2023, I'm not convinced the Laundries would really do anything different to what they've done so far. If they've reserved the right to remain silent, why wouldn't they simply plead the fifth on any questions put to them? I can really see that happening. On the other hand, it's possible that merely being dragged, the possibility of merely being dragged into the spectacle of a public trial, even if they mean to plead the fifth, might be a kind of sword of Damocles they'd rather not face. And so, who knows, perhaps they'll try to negotiate some sort of private settlement. As the months tick by, maybe they'll have a change of heart and feel like, I would rather not go there. I would rather that doesn't happen. I would rather avoid that. And so if that happens, perhaps the Laundries and the Petitos will meet behind closed doors, face to face, as any good parent, certainly in my opinion, of a couple in this terrible situation ought to have done anyway. Time will tell. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.